Good morning, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Benjamin Reyes.
Thank you. You are here on a total of 6 matters. I'm just going to take them in order. Number 6 on the calendar is a warrant from the El Mirage City Court, where you've been charged with possessing drug paraphernalia and driving on a suspended license. Those are Class 1 misdemeanors. Your arraignment hearing there will be September 3rd at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the address is on your paperwork. Your bond in that case is $250 secured. The next case, number 8, is the Peoria City Court, who issued a warrant for you for failing to comply with the terms of your probation in a DUI case. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. Your arraignment hearing there is scheduled for 2 days from now, August 27th at 9 in the morning. Your bond is $250 secured with written conditions. There's a bench warrant out for your arrest in the Superior Court in a pending case back on November 22nd of 2021. You failed to appear at a status conference in the case in which you've been charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. You've already had a lawyer appointed. Your status conference will now be this Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing September 4th at 8:30 in the same court. Your bond in that case is $2,000 and it is secured. In the meantime, while you've been out in the wind, a new case was filed against you, but it does date back to 2021. So there is a newly filed, well, it was filed a couple of years ago, direct complaint charging you with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. The alleged offense date is November 16th of 2021, which is at a time when you were already out on release in that warrant case, the one I just told you about. So because there's probable cause for new felonies in November of 2021 at a time when you had, and you still have, an open and pending felony case, you're not eligible for bail at all today in this case. So you are going to be held no bond until a bail hearing in this newly filed dangerous drug case from November of 2021. You'll have the same status conference as the other felony case. It's this Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing, September 4th at 8:30. The bail hearing I just told you about will happen September 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. You may or may not be found eligible for bail in that case on September 3rd, but today you must be held without bond in that case only. Then you have 2 warrants from Surprise City Court, numbers 11 and 12 on the calendar. In one of them, number 11, you've been charged with driving on a suspended license. This is a failure to appear warrant. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. And the other one, number 12 on the calendar, you have now been accused newly of obstructing justice by the refusal to provide a true name yesterday, and that's a Class 2 misdemeanor. And your arraignment hearing in Surprise is going to be September 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's for both of those. And undoubtedly, they'll take you to the bail hearing, and Surprise will have to move their court date, but I can't move it. So your bond in each of those 2 cases is $75, and it is secured. You shouldn't bother trying to post any bonds if you're still being held without bond in that one case, because you wouldn't actually get out. And because you have bond in the misdemeanors, I am appointing a lawyer for you, because under the rules, if you get a bond, then you get a lawyer to help you with the bond, even if you don't otherwise qualify. So just so you know, if and when you no longer have bond in those misdemeanor cases, you will no longer have a lawyer in those cases either. But you do have a lawyer for the felonies. So if you step to your left, everything I just told you will be on your paperwork. Mr. Gutierrez? And then Harry Evans, will you go to the chair? Good morning, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Victor Gutierrez, 11.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for allegations of possessing dangerous and narcotic drugs for sale. Those are Class 2 felonies, and there is probable cause for both of those. I am appointing a lawyer for you. It will be the same lawyer that you have in your open and pending felony case. That's CR 2023-008-158. You are co-defendant number 3. You've been charged in that case with theft of a means of transportation, burglary, and theft. And your first court date in that case was May 11th of 2024. It does remain open and pending. So you're going to have 3 court dates in this new case, the drug sales. The first is a status conference this Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning. The second is an evidentiary hearing, which is your bail hearing on September 3rd. That's a week from Tuesday, September 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And then a preliminary hearing the next day, September 4th at 8:30. The reason you need a bail hearing is that there is probable cause for new felonies. We have an open case, so you cannot be granted bail today. You may or may not get bail on September 3rd, but you cannot get it today. You're going to stay. So if you step to your left, you get a copy of the paperwork. Mr. Evans, and then Johnny Farias, will you please go to the chair? Good morning, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Harry Evans, Jr.
Thank you. You're here on one new case and a probation hold. In the new case, you're accused of aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. That's a Class 4 felony, and there is probable cause for it. I am appointing a lawyer for you in this case and in your probation case. In your probation case, you are on probation for aggravated assault, a Class 2 felony, and the probation department will be filing a petition to revoke your probation based on this new arrest. So you'll have a lawyer in both cases. You have the same next court date for both cases. It's this Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In the new case, that's a status conference, and in the probation case, it's a revocation arraignment hearing. In the new case, you also need a preliminary hearing, and that will be Wednesday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning. In the probation case, it is ordered holding you without bond pursuant to law. In the new case, you have a $15,000 secured appearance bond and written conditions. You shouldn't bother trying to post that bond, though, if you are still being held without bond in your probation case. If you step to your left, you get a copy of your paperwork. All right, Mr. Farias, and then Angel Saavedra, will you please go to the chair? Where's Angel Saavedra? He's got a black T-shirt on. He's probably about 50. Gray hair. Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Johnny Rene Farias.
All right, thank you. You're here on one new case and a probation hold. In the new case, you were arrested for possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. It's a Class 4 felony, and failure to admit the carrying of a deadly weapon concealed on your person when asked by a police officer, and that's a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. I'm also appointing a lawyer in your probation case because the probation department will be filing a petition to revoke your probation based on these new allegations. So you have the same next court date for both cases. It's this Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning. That's a status conference in the downtown Superior Court. And in the probation case, that same hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing. In the new case, you will also have a preliminary hearing on Wednesday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning. Those will be in the downtown Superior Court. In the probation case, you are held without bond pursuant to law. In the new case, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond and written conditions. You shouldn't bother trying to post it, though, if you are still being held without bond in your probation case. You step to your left to give you a copy of your paperwork. Right, Mr. Saavedra? Good morning, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Angel Saavedra.
Thanks. You're here on a grand jury warrant because you've been indicted by a grand jury on new charges. These were handed down about 2 months ago. And the allegation is one count of misconduct involving weapons, which is a Class 4 felony. And the alleged offense date is March 17th of 2023. This appears to come out of a Phoenix Police Department arrest. You'll get a copy of the charge and police reports from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. You will be arraigned on this indictment at your next court hearing, which is this coming Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning, 5 days from now in the downtown Superior Court. I am affirming the bond set by the judge who issued the grand jury warrant, and that is $10,000. It is cash only. If you post it, comply with the rest of your release conditions and don't miss your court date. Step to your left and she'll give you your paperwork. Thank you. Ms. Ostrovsky, and then Casey Peterson, will you please go to the chair? Good morning, ma'am. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Galina Maria Ostrovsky.
Thank you. You are here on 2 things. One's a Justice Court warrant and one is a Superior Court warrant. I'm going to start with the felony case. You were charged with 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence of alcohol, both as Class 4 felonies, with an alleged offense date in 2019. A warrant issued for your arrest when you failed to appear at a not guilty arraignment on July 28th of 2022. You've already had a lawyer appointed. That arraignment hearing is going to happen now on Friday, August 30th at 8:30 in the morning. That's your next court date in the downtown Superior Court, and the address is on your paperwork. In the Arcadia Biltmore Justice Court, This is driving on suspended license case. You've been charged but not yet convicted. It is a Class 1 misdemeanor. This issued as a failure to appear warrant on July 25th, 2022. Your court date in that court, the Arcadia Biltmore Justice Court, will be 2 days from now, August 27th at 8:30 in the morning. That address will be on your paperwork. In the felony case, your bond is $2,500 secured. In the Justice Court case, it is $500 secured. That is $3,000 total. If you bond out, comply with your conditions. One of them in the felony case is that you are ordered not to drive at any time. You step to your left, you get a copy of your paperwork. And Mr. Peterson. After that, Mr. Varner, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. May I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Casey Logan Peterson.
All right, thank you. You're here on a probation violation warrant that issued for your arrest on October 3rd of 2022. You're on probation for a Class 6 felony, and the petition to revoke alleged that you violated terms 6 and 7. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is in the downtown probation court this Friday, August 30th, 8:30 in the morning. That's a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. Your bond is $1,000. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all your conditions, and call the probation department within 72 hours. The number is on your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Varner, and then Raymond Nelson, will you please go to the chair? We don't have Mr. Varner. You can go ahead and come in, Mr. Nelson. Whoever's ready. Yeah, Mr. Nelson, you can come in. Go ahead, Mr. Nelson, you can go ahead and come in. When people are that heavily out, then they get a chance to wake up. All right, let me have your full name and date of birth, please.
Raymond Andrew Nelson, July 29, 1999.
All right, thanks. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for criminal trespass in the first degree. That's a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date will be a status conference September 9th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing September 12th at 8:30 in the same court. And I am going to follow the recommendation to release you on your own, it's a form of own recognizance. It's to pretrial services. So you'll be released. Then you have to call in and check in with pretrial services so they can keep track of you. It's not hard, so just do it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I'm basing that on that you are not actually accused of hurting or trying to hurt this person. That's why I'm not putting an ankle monitor on you to enforce the no contact. But you have to know that if you were to be accused of the identical offense while this case is pending, you would be held without bond, like happened to a couple people. It's on your paperwork. Just have a look at it. If they can allege that you've been trespassed from that location, if you go there, it is a Class 6 felony every time they book you, and you will land back here no bond. I'm hoping that you can do the math on that and just stay away while the case is pending. You have to obey the terms of any order of protection that's been issued on you. You can't go back there or live in that complex. If you have any belongings there, you can do a civil standby with a law enforcement officer exactly one time to collect belongings. But otherwise, you can't go to any part of that complex. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If you step to your left, you get your paperwork. It's got a bus pass in there. Don't lose the envelope. That's the pretrial services envelope.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Mr. Varner, and then Kevin Shaviro, will you please go to the chair? Right here, sir. All right, can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Mario Lee Varner, 3.
Thanks. You're here on 2 matters. I'm going to start with what is actually the older case. Because you're here on an arrest from yesterday, but I'm going to talk about the older one first. The older one is a warrant that was waiting to find you in the system. You haven't missed any court dates. What happened is you got charged in a criminal complaint back in 2023 with 1 count of possession or use of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. The alleged offense date is May 22nd of 2023, and this comes from the Tempe Police Department. You'll get a copy of the charges and police reports from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you in both of these cases. Your next court date in this case is going to be 2 weeks from tomorrow, which is September 9th, 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing September 12th at 8:30 in the same court. And you haven't missed any court dates in this case, so I'm going to follow the risk assessment score that indicates it is safe to release you to pretrial services. So you're going to be released. You're going to get an envelope with instructions about how to call pretrial once you get out. Just do that. Don't lose the envelope. Don't lose your paperwork. I always like to tell people the envelope has a bus pass in it, which may be of great use when you get out. If not, give it to somebody because not everybody gets them. Don't throw it away. All right. Now, you also got arrested yesterday on an allegation of possessing narcotic drugs. And in this case, I'm going to give you a lawyer and the same court dates, and then no conditions, and I'll tell you why in a second. So, the status conference is September 9th, just like the other one. Preliminary hearing September 12th, just like the other one. But in this case, the police booked you on the wrong statute. That is because they're supposed to know, and they messed it up. And we don't fix that for them. It doesn't mean the case is dismissed, though, and it is something that the county attorney could fix in the charging process if they want to. So I always tell people, don't get too excited. It's not dismissed, but you just have no release conditions on it, because if I don't find probable cause on anything, you're just entitled to be released. I don't dismiss cases, but I do have to release you. So talk to your lawyer about how that works. This does happen. And essentially, as I put a note in your order, for reasons nobody remembers now and make no sense, Arizona has divided illegal drugs into two categories. If you pick the wrong category, then there's no probable cause. So they booked you for narcotic drugs, but meth, alleged meth, is a dangerous drug. So it is a technical defect, but that technicality means you get released. So I don't know if that makes any sense. Take your paperwork. Your lawyer will be able to tell you what became of that case when you go, because you have to go anyway for the other one. And then your lawyer can tell you, did they file it? Are they waiting? What's happening with that other case? Just keep all your paperwork and give it to your lawyer, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, good luck, sir. All right, Mr. Chavira and then Gustavo Sanchez, we go to the chair. Hi, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Kevin Chavira.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, a Class 5 felony. There is probable cause for that, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your status conference is going to be September 9th, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning. Your preliminary hearing will be September 12th at 8:30 in the same courthouse. That is downtown Phoenix, and the address is on your paperwork. I am going to follow the recommendation to release you on your own recognizance, which I don't do that often in this type of case.
I appreciate that.
What they've alleged, I do it based on objective factors. It's not like a favor, but you apparently have never even been arrested before, and that's a big factor in your favor. You did yourself pull over. They didn't have to use stop sticks or run you off the road with a pit maneuver or something that could literally have killed you if they didn't do it right. And what you're alleged to have done wasn't the worst that I've seen, and so I hope and I think that you are the kind of person who would be very unlikely to violate release conditions while you know you're facing a felony charge. If you aren't smart enough, then I hope you just don't hurt anybody, because we'll see you back here, and then you're going to get a bond.
Yes.
So, don't possess or consume any alcohol. I think you are just shy of your 21st birthday, and frankly, I believe that your judgment may be impaired. I don't need you to add alcohol to that a few days from now. And no driving without a valid driver's license. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. You just need to come to court, comply with your release conditions. Okay?
I can't drive at all?
No, you can drive. You just have to have a valid license.
Okay.
And so, meaning you can't drink alcohol either way. But if your license remains valid, you can drive. And I always tell people, if you don't know what they might be doing with your license, because they might, is you can look yourself up on the MVD website. I mean, look it up every few days, because if they take action, they're going to mail you something, and you should make sure your address is updated too, because odds are good. They're going to take some kind of action. I don't know what it is. MVD does what they do. But, you can look yourself up, and when you talk to your lawyer at your next court date, you can talk about, what they may have seen MVD do with people's licenses before. Because if you've never even been arrested, then you probably don't have any points on your license. So, anyway, talk to your lawyer. Just don't violate release conditions. Don't miss your court dates, okay?
And it's just alcohol, right? I can't...
Right. You can't drink alcohol. That's all I'm ordering. If you're asking me, can you do other things? I'm unable to answer that question. Okay. What's that?
No. Never mind.
I'm just saying...
Yeah.
Don't drink, because that's what makes people do dumb things like go, that woman can't tell me not to drive, I'm driving. And then you go get in the car and you hurt or kill somebody. So I did not fail to notice you turned 21 in 4 days. Life is long. You'll have many opportunities to celebrate other ways than getting really drunk in a public bar. So on these facts, I'm concerned that your judgment is still undeveloped. So comply with your conditions, okay? Just take it seriously and don't miss your court dates, all right? If you step to your left, you'll be
If I
out
don't
in 2
miss
hours.
my court dates, my felon thing will come off of my...
Well, if you want to try to dodge a felony conviction, you need to come so your lawyer can help you. Your lawyer, defense lawyers there's lots of advice they can give you and lots of input, and to help you one way or another avoid taking a felony conviction. That is within the realm of possibility, but your lawyer needs to help you with that.
Okay, and
So
you guys
show up.
provide me a lawyer?
I did, but you probably won't meet them till you get there, because
Okay.
on a case where you're out of custody, they're not going to assign somebody until right before the hearing.
Yeah.
So you'll meet them when you get there, and then you can go over the whole case with you, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck.
All right, appreciate it.
Mr. Sanchez?
Today?
Oh, because I probably got him on a speeding thing, too. Yeah, misdemeanor, same thing, yeah. Hi, Mr. Sanchez, I need your full name and date of birth, please.
I'm sorry?
What's your name?
Gustavo Sanchez.
What's your date? Thanks. I just wanted you to be able to hear. All right, you're here on a disorderly conduct allegation. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for that, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. That'll happen at your next court date in the Goodyear City Court. That's going to be September 11th, Wednesday, September 11th at 8:30 in the morning. That's about 2.5 weeks from now. The address for Goodyear is on your paperwork. You are going to get domestic violence release conditions, which means you're going to have to stay somewhere else while the case is pending. You can do a civil standby with law enforcement to collect belongings. Then you got to find another place to stay while the case is pending. You need to bring that to your next court date. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victim. Do you have any children in common with this person?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure out a way for a family member to be an intermediary or something, and if you can't, you don't have permission to violate release conditions in order to see your child. Don't be confused on that. People get arrested for that.
I can see him?
You can see your child,
Oh.
but you can't violate release conditions to do it, because sometimes we have people in here saying, well, I just wanted to see my kid, that's why I went over to her house. It's like, well, that's not a legal excuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just trying to say,
Okay.
yes, you can see your kid, but if you can't figure out a way to do it without violating release conditions, then don't do it. It's not forever, okay?
Okay.
All right, if you step to your left, you get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, one more electronic warrant, and then I'll do my house call. All right, hello, sir, can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Samuel Amador Hernandez, 0.
Thanks. You are here on a total of 3 things. I'm going to start with the new arrest from yesterday. You're accused of possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and disobeying a court order, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. And then you got two probation, are they warrants or holds? They're holds. Okay. So you're on probation for a Class 3 and a Class 4 felony, and the probation department will be filing petitions to revoke your probation in both cases based on this new arrest. So you'll have a lawyer in all 3 cases. You are going to have the same next court date in all 3 cases. That's this Friday, August 30th, 8:30 in the morning. It's a status conference in the downtown Superior Court. In the new case from yesterday, you will also have a preliminary hearing September 4th at 8:30 in the same court. In each of your probation cases, you will have bond, and in the Class 3 case, it is $1,500 secured. In the Class 4 case, it is $1,000 secured. In the new case, I'm just going to set what's called a placeholder bond. It's $50 to make you eligible for credit for time in custody. So your total bond is $2,550. If you bond out, comply with your conditions. Don't miss your court dates. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. Thank you.